Both Liftoff and VelociDrone are the leading FPV drone simulators in the market, so I'm going to try to give you guys a comparison of the two and figure out what the best features of each are. If at any point in the video you want to know which simulator is being shown, I have popped the logo of the simulator in the bottom right corner of the screen. And finally, if you want to find any specific information, time codes are in the description and on the timeline. Hope you enjoy the video. When comparing the graphics between the two, I believe they both feature great graphics compared to other drone simulators in the market. Personally, I believe that Liftoff's textures have a much greater level of detail, with each map polished and feeling like a more complete package. Talking about the maps, VelociDrone features around 22 unique maps compared to Liftoff's 16 maps currently available at the time of release of this video. I believe that Liftoff makes up for the smaller amount of maps in the detail of them, which feel more handcrafted and immersive, with models that are unique to specific maps such as warehouses, shipping containers, and skyscrapers. The maps on both the simulators range from the size of a small classroom gym all the way to the Austrian Red Bull Ring in VelociDrone, and Liftoff's golf course and Bando City. VelociDrone graphics compared to Liftoff are at a much lower level of detail, with textures seeming to pop in the distance on the larger maps. However, one major positive is the dynamic weather and contrasting lights that feature in some of the darker levels. Although, in defense of Liftoff, it does have the Night Fever DLC that is also meant to have these lights such as these and provide night versions for all the maps, which is available part of the base game in VelociDrone. In terms of the gameplay, the first simulator that I played was Liftoff, and for the time, it felt incredibly realistic and just like the flying I was doing in real life. But after trying out VelociDrone and comparing the two, I've realized that the simulation in VelociDrone is just that much better. The feeling extends to the realistic throttle and drag effects that the drone experiences that feel just like I'm flying around the track at my local club. I would have to also mention that the drones in Liftoff fly considerably faster, topping out around 215 km an hour, compared to VelociDrone, which is around 140 km an hour. Personally, I believe the speed experience in VelociDrone feels much more accurate to what real life would be like. Both games try to emulate the sound of a drone as best as possible in flight, and it is especially important as it helps you manage throttle during that flight and immerses you in the flying experience. The sounds in Liftoff sound high-pitched, accurate to a drone, but the real standout is the sounds in VelociDrone. It accurately changes volume based on speed, angle of the quad, damage on the quad, as well as emulating the pitch closer to reality. The UI however, is night and day difference between the amazing and intuitive design of Liftoff compared to VelociDrone. I would say that Liftoff wins the better UI competition by a mile, and I would use it any day compared to the UI of VelociDrone. It's that good. A major positive for Liftoff compared to VelociDrone to me is the ability to just plug in and play. The controller setup process is super easy and super fast and great for new players. This is one of the features that I wish VelociDrone had, and both games do have a great settings menu, so even if you want to configure your controller how you want, there are heaps of settings to play around with in graphics, controllers, sound, so you can customize the game to your heart's content. Another great thing about Liftoff is that it's on the game platform Steam compared to VelociDrone, which is just standalone. This means that Liftoff players get access to the Steam Workshop, which has around 6,000 different drones and 9,000 different tracks, created by members of the community. The amount increases every day as the community continues to grow and adds new content. The workshop also comes with the added benefit of making it easier to find the best tracks by searching with tags and filters to pick out the most popular and subscribed drones and tracks. This in comparison with the VelociDrone, which just has a list of community tracks by name, making it really hard to find out which ones are the best ones and what are worth downloading. as, unlike Liftoff, you don't get a description, video, or images of the track you're downloading. Both simulators also have their own competitive scene, with communities hosting unofficial races, as well as official races being held by Liftoff and VelociDrone themselves, with prizes and rewards for winners. In terms of system performance, VelociDrone is much easier to run than Liftoff, but you have the recommended specs shown on screen. You should be able to run both with no problem. Compared to most other games, these simulators are surprisingly easier to run than most of the indie games and modern games at the moment. Liftoff even has a version for the PS4 and Xbox. In terms of cost, Liftoff is around $28.95 and VelociDrone is $30. They are both good value for money, and if you're into the drone racing, you definitely want to get one or the other, as it is easy to sink hours in trying to get the best time, beat your friend, or just go for the top of the leaderboard. Even just have fun flying around. I think both simulators are just great, and I recommend them both. They are unique and have their pros and cons, but in the end of the day, it's just up to personal preference about which features matter more to you. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. See you next time, and bye for now.